What's up, everybody? Got a commentary today. It's the end of an era, Zach, because we are completing the Turtles trilogy. It's kind of sad.
It is. It really is.
Is it sad that we're ending it, or is it sad that we're ending it on a shitty movie?
We could always do the Michael Bay ones.
That's all right. That's totally a different thing. Also, we're recording this on Mother's Day, so if you guys are mothers out there, I don't really think moms are our demographic. But happy Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you happen to be associated with a mother of sorts, wish them a happy Mother's Day. And we didn't really think about that prior to recording this. Otherwise, maybe we could have planned it better and did something like Mother's Day, or I suggested like Serial Mom. I don't know. There's not too many theme movies around the holiday or moms in general, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
We could always just do a commentary of the entire series of Roseanne. I don't know. Not going to do that. But anyway, we're going to do TMNT 3, the shit one. And I think it might still be streaming. I think it's actually streaming on Prime. I know it was on Netflix and Hulu too for the longest time, but these movies are pretty easy to find online right now. But are we working off a DVD rip at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is it just go right into New Line Cinema, I imagine?
Hell yeah.
All right, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Play.
Hell yeah, we're seeing that logo now.
So, Zach, you were talking about before we started recording, man. I know this is kind of off topic of the Turtles, but they officially announced Bill and Ted 3. Official.
Bill and Ted 3, motherfucker. I'm excited.
They've been trying to get that thing off the ground for years, and it's finally greenlit for a start with production. And it's the original writer, a new director, but I think the original writer, right?
Both the original writers.
Both the original writers, a new director, but I think if I was looking at what the director had done, and he had done some pretty credible movies, so it's like, okay, cool. And you know, it sucks though, because unless they're really smart with their marketing, I don't think it'll be a hit, man. I really don't, because Bill and Ted's been gone so long, none of the prime demo they want to attack knows who they are, right? Unfortunately.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
They have to really, really, really attack that. I mean, honestly, you and I and Riverman, we're not even super duper the demo for it, right? Because we were super young, we were super young when the first one came out, and even when the second one came out, we were young. So we kind of embraced that series in like on reruns and shit, or like, you know, they play the movies on TV and stuff. So I'd say we're on the cusp, but they really got to attack that 35 and over demo. We'll see.
I think Dumb and Dumber 2 did that, was that hit or not?
Critically, people fucking hated it. And it was one of those things where I don't think it was a hit at the end of the day. People saw it the opening weekend, of course, out of morbid curiosity, because it came from a great movie. And I think it did, even then, I think it did like 20 or 30 million, you know, and then it just dropped off. I don't think it was a hit at all. But Bill and Ted, if they keep the budget low, maybe they'll have a hit on their hands. But I really think it's going to be one of those sort of in the middle movies. Like, they're not really going to make a profit. They're not going to lose their shirt on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll definitely go out and support it, man. That'll be a cool one.
I'm looking forward to it, baby.
I still have yet to buy those on Blu-ray because they're, you know, a lot of times they'll be streaming or whatever, and that keeps me away from it. But, you know, I know they released the, what do they call it? The Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Collection.
Mm-hmm.
Shout Factory did a couple years ago. I mean, I guess I would want to get that. It's just still kind of pricey. It costs like $40, you know?
Yeah, it is.
It's a little pricey. And then they announced that, I think it comes out, let me see, in 2 days, they're releasing a steelbook 35th anniversary or 30th anniversary of the original Bill and Ted, which I assume is the exact same that's in that collection, because it's Shout Factory 2. It's just a steelbook and it's by itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably got the same features. And it's like, that would attract me, but I kind of only want it if they're going to release a steelbook of the second one in a couple years as a 30th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I know I'm in this like situation where I wouldn't know what to buy even if I did.
That collection's got a lot of good special features on it.
I know. I was reading on it, man. So I know. So it's like, you know, and in the collection itself looks pretty cool. I mean, I assume that's one of the ones that you don't own it, do you?
I got it. Yeah.
Oh, you do own it. You know how it came shrink wrap with that little sleeve, you know, and it's just like the regular, the kind of fat case that's in the sleeve?
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that sleeve is still coming with all of them because it's shrink wrapped. Like, I'd be so pissed if I paid $40 and it just came with the case, like with no sleeve.
Yeah.
It would be like, this looks like shit.
They also got a version that came with a doll of Rufus.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. This is the worst fucking opening I've ever seen, by the way. Look at
It's not that bad.
Leonardo looks fucking gay. Michelangelo looks gay. They look like homosexuals.
Why?
What are they doing? They're not trained. Look, they look rubber. They don't look like. They look horrible. They just look stupid.
Everybody that's gay listening to this is like, do I look rubber? I didn't know.
Tiff, I'm all rubber. No, I don't mean it as a thing like that, but they look stupid.
They look goofy, yeah.
And I don't. We've talked about this ad nauseum on the last couple of commentaries for the first two movies, but why did they get progressively worse? Like, I don't understand. You'd think that there'd be a little bit more money. I don't get it. Like, why would you skimp on these? I would rather them reuse the old costumes, right?
I wonder if they tried to make them look more cartoony.
Kitty.
Yeah.
But they were still pretty. They toned it down for 2 enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like in 2, they changed the look. The look was a little more vibrant, a little more toned down, a little more colorful. But the actual, like, quality was actually a little bit better in the first one, right? The quality didn't suffer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but this, like, the quality is shit. They look stupid.
April O'Neil is hot in this movie.
She got a butch haircut. I'm not a fan.
Oh, it's fine with me.
She's dressing like Fonzie. Too much like a dude, if you ask me right now.
It's enough to grab onto. Yeah, their fucking mouths move like sock puppets.
Yeah, it looks freaking ridiculous. And their eyes are always so wide and glossy. They just look stupid. I don't know. Like, they were so expressive in the first one. You know, like Leo had the squinty eyes, and they actually all did. Like, look at all these eyes. Like, Donatello's the only one. He looks like he smokes a lot of reefer because his, like, lid.
His skin looks like a basketball. The little bumps on the basketball.
They look fucking fake. Oh, a samurai sword book. Like, he fucking really likes that.
Elvis Presley?
Blue eye. Huh? Yeah, I don't know, man.
This entire scene sounds like it was overdubbed.
You mean the puppets? Of course they were.
Even April.
Boss! Corey Feldman, it should be noted, returned for this one. I don't know if do we really know why he wasn't a part of the second one?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe he was in another movie around the same time they were shooting it.
He was too fucking busy for this.
For 2.
Yeah, but it's not shooting anything. They can film the fucking movie. He just he does his voice like after in a sound booth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they have to do the voices first, I'm sure. Then they film the movie, right? To match the.
And then they probably do the voices over again. That's how they did like a lot of movies.
What do you mean? Explain.
For some reason, they would do like a rough version for them to use on set, and then they would redo it for the final version.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Like all the Chucky movies were like that.
This movie, in a weird way, could have had promise. I mean, I like.
This movie's good. What are you talking? It's a great film.
You for the sake of me, you suck on my dick.
Mm-hmm. Did you check out that R-rated episode that I was on?
It just dropped, man. How much time you think I got, Ninja? I did see it, though. I'm going to listen to it.
It was really just a way for me to bring it up so that people know listening.
Oh, is it on iTunes, too?
It's on YouTube. It's the Hatchet episode.
I know, but is it going to be on iTunes?
He said that it'll go to iTunes a little later, so I don't know if it's on there right now.
I'll listen to it tomorrow while I'm working. That's when I like to listen to that shit while I'm working. So I'll throw it up on YouTube and listen to it. But yeah, how did it turn out?
It was good.
Was there?
Mm-hmm.
Was he prime? Was he right?
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is, I guess, this coming up Friday, we're supposed to record with Josh for R-rated. So definitely check out Zach on a new episode, which is on YouTube, as he stated, and we'll be doing another one too. I'm not sure what we're doing yet. I mean, he wanted to do Troll 2, but then now he's saying Return to Sleepaway Camp. I say whichever one he does, we should do the other one, because I kind of want to do one. Because we wanted to... I don't think he should do Return to Sleepaway unless Riverman can do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, well, I mean, Riverman's down to record as long as he needs to move the time again. He's like always dead set on like 9 p.m. If he can move it up an hour, Riverman can do it. We took Friday off, and River actually called me and asked if we were recording. So I was like, "Nah, I'm taking the day off." So that'll be cool.
Riverman.
So, what's your overall impression of this movie, man? Seriously, it's really weird. I mean, I get it. All the stuff like Casey Jones just so happens to have an ancestor there for some reason in Japan that looks just like him, and the fact that, you know, we're going to see April look at a rat and say, "You look familiar too." I'm like, is that to imply that it is an ancestor of Splinter, or is that just like a joke that she's saying?
I think it's just a joke.
Kappa.
Yeah, this is the one I've seen the least.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's fortunate.
Kamba.
Kappa.
It's never shown them without their bandanas on. They should have done that in the movies.
I'm pretty sure they're pretty much glued to those costumes.
Yeah, right. They take them off and there's just nothing there. Like, you see their skin underneath.
I'm pretty sure you can't remove them. But the concept's all right, man. The switching places back in time with someone, you know, it's kind of like it's like Terminator, except I like the idea that you have to switch with somebody that's like your size or whatever, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's an okay idea.
Look how different Splinter looks too. He looks
cheaper too. He looks really dumb and cheap, and they also didn't finish him because you only ever see his from the torso up. You know, like he's most of the movie, he's hiding behind that little.
That's kind of like all of them though. You never really see his feet.
But you see him hanging in the first one by the chains. You see more of him in the scene where he's like touching Leonardo's head, and he's, you know, or Raphael rather. I mean, and you see him standing in the fire scene where they're like, you know, where he's using the force, you know, in the fire. You do see more of him, and you know, you see him kind of standing and doing the bow and arrow, even though you don't see his feet there. But he just does more. Here, he's pretty much stuck behind a fucking counter the whole movie. He looks stupid.
You're so fucking mean, baby. You're so negative.
And isn't it awfully convenient that April was wearing those man clothes for him to morph into? You know what I mean?
I always laugh whenever she disappears and he shows up and he goes, "She's a man." I don't know why.
Yeah. No, it's funny. But you know what I mean? Isn't it convenient that she happened to be wearing jeans and a leather jacket and all that man clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking stupid.
Should have been wearing a bikini.
Man, this makes me just want to play Tenchu. Let's fuck this movie and play Tenchu instead.
Let's fuck this movie.
Let's fuck it.
We're gonna fuck the shit out of this movie.
Do you think they really wore those fucking things on their chest back then? I mean, those don't look very, I don't know. Is that supposed to wake you up when you faint? Just, you know, wind? I don't get it.
I don't know, yeah. Have you ever fainted?
No, I've never fainted. When you faint, is it just like a temporary moment where you know, oxygen doesn't get to your brain or something? Or what is it?
I don't know, yeah.
And I wonder, is it really that easy just to wake you back up?
Yeah, it's hard telling.
Why did they change Splinter's voice? Is it not Kevin Clash in this one too, from the last one?
Look at his teeth.
They're fucking big. They look fucking massive.
That's got to be the thumbnail, dude.
Look at those things.
He's got like fucking, what's his name? Gary Busey teeth.
Yeah. No, they're fucking horse teeth, dude. They look like horse teeth. They're massive. I got bit by a horse one time.
Really?
Yeah, man. I was hiking up in Scotland, and there was this horse. I mean, I assume somebody owned the land, but there was like a little horse on some land, and I walked through the land, and I went to go pet it and get a picture, and the fucking horse bit my hand, and it bit my hand up to the elbow.
Dang.
And it had really it had big ass fucking teeth, and they weren't sharp, obviously, so it didn't like break any skin.
They got like fucking human teeth too, which is creepy.
But massive human teeth, and like so it didn't break skin or anything, but it just the pressure of it was really hard. It bit me hard, man. I was like, "Fuck you, horse."
Did you punch it like Conan
or John Wayne or whatever that fucking movie was back in the day? No, I didn't, because I don't want to enrage people out there. If I said yes, I did, but I didn't. You know, that's funny though. Watch, that would be the thing that offends people if you told a story like about involving an animal, right? But it's like nothing else that is said on this podcast offends anybody, but that would. Dude, I guess I'm not going to tell us. Fuck, I can't do it because never mind. I can't tell that story. I can't tell that story because I said it was. You'd have to bleep that out because I don't mind telling the story, but I don't want the person to just be somebody I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody to know it's.
Well, stop saying it, bitch. I'll bleep it out.
You're gonna have to bleep out.
All right.
Because they're always gonna be like, beep. Okay, so I'll tell you the story, and it's horrible, man. I'm not endorsing this at all.
So if he hurt an animal, he's probably a serial killer.
No. This person's not, but socially awkward maybe. But anyway, I remember this person and a mutual friend were roommates, and they sort of enabled each other in certain wacky behavior when they drank. And they were telling this story. I, of course, wasn't involved, or I wasn't there. I just kind of heard the story from both of them. But apparently, every single night, there was this cat that came to their doorstep at their apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
They probably just wanted to be fed. Maybe the previous person who lived in the apartment before them, because they hadn't lived there very long, maybe used to feed the cat, is what I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they became, I guess, one of them became increasingly annoyed with it, and they kept taking it and kind of like getting it off the property or whatever, and it kept coming back night after night, and just it's not really harming anybody. But they got drunk one night. They took this cat. And this is horrible, man. I don't know if I could tell a story.
Do it, bitch.
They took this cat. They brought it inside. This hungry cat.
They fucked it.
No, they put it in the bath. They beat the shit out of it in a bathtub.
What the fuck?
They beat the shit and bludgeoned this cat to a bloody pulp in a bathtub.
That's fucked up.
While it was getting the water ran on it, to wash down the blood, and they beat the fuck out of this cat and whatever, thought they killed it or killed is dude. It's fucked up. It is some fucked up shit.
That is fucked up.
Then they fucking took this cat. They probably put it in a bag, and I guess they drove off and they threw it somewhere in a dumpster. They were fucking wasted. Anyway, the fucking cat came back again, all beat to fuck like a battered housewife that just keeps coming back to their husband.
God damn, man. It
was just brutal. I'm like, when I heard the story, I'm like, I was disgusted. I'm like, it's one thing to not be an animal lover. It's another thing to fucking do something like that to anything.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me sick even thinking about it. And I remember this is the type of person that really has no filter when they're talking to people. And I don't know if it's actually more so them not having a filter and them not realizing their setting, or if they do it on purpose to certain people just to get a rise out of them, or because they're one of those people where you either hate him or you love him. Like, he's a hard pill to swallow if you just meet him and don't get to know him. But if you can somehow get past the initial stuff and really get to know him, everybody seems to love him, if that makes sense, He's not good at first impressions, I'll say that. He's a grower. But I remember I was around with a mutual friend, and her mom, I knew her mom, and she was around because this is a house that I was living at. And okay, so I was at a house that was owned by this girl, this friend of mine, and I knew her mom, and one of these friends came over, and he had never met her mom before, but her mom was a very big animal lover, had a lot of pets, loved animals. And she made it pretty obvious that she loved animals. So what's the fucking story he opens up with meeting her? The story about the cat. Why the fuck would you say this? And it was just, Ridiculous.
Was she like appalled?
Speechless. Speechless. I had no defense. Like,
Was she like, get the fuck out of my house?
no, it wasn't her house. She was visiting.
Oh.
It was her mom. It was the mom, yeah, visiting the house.
Was she like, get the fuck out of this house?
No, if I seem to recall, she was just super speechless or whatever. But that's actually telling that story. It made me think of another story involving him. So this same person,
Did he fuck a cat?
no, this one's actually kind of worse. No, maybe it's not. You be the judge. This one's fucking bad too. They're both bad. Okay, so this one of the people from the first group we mentioned, their best friend during the same period of time, their best friend was somebody that lived somewhere else. Their best friend rented a room from a middle-aged 50-something-year-old guy, right? And they were young. They were probably like early 20s, if that. But anyway, so his best friend rented a room from this mid-50s type of guy, and this mid-50s type of guy had a dog. Anyway, the person that I've been talking about the whole time, they go to his best friend's house, the old man's house. The old man's not there, but they are going to grill steaks. So they go out and buy meats and buy the whole thing, and they're grilling out some food. But the guy's fucking dog is still home, and I guess they turned a blind eye, and the dog, swiped the meat off the grill and ate it. Which I think we've all kind of been there. We've all had dogs or pets that did something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, do you know what they decided to do to get this dog back?
What?
Fuck it. They tied it up in a pillowcase and drove it out to the lake and threw it in the lake to drown. Ugh. Disgusting, right?
Fucking kill me.
Once again,
this earth, fuck it.
Wasted.
Fuck it to oblivion.
It's not an excuse, but like drunk, man. Like there's just people that get really drunk and do fucked up shit. And the guy was working or something, and he never found out where his dog went. Like it just ran away.
I would have beat that fucker's ass.
Can you imagine though, like living with that guy? I don't know. He probably didn't live with that guy. He rented a room. He probably didn't live there very long. But can you imagine even being in that guy's house under his roof for even a day after you did something like that to his dog and you're keeping it to yourself?
No.
I mean, it's disgusting. It's a horrible fucking story. Whew.
Now that everybody listens, bombed.
Yeah, I really brought it down. Anyway, speaking of turtles. Jeez.
You know that was a form of torture back in like pre I don't know, like maybe Romans, maybe it was a form of torture. They would take a guy, put him in a bag, and also put a snake and a dog in there with him and throw him into the water.
Put a guy in a bag and put a snake and a dog with him in the bag and throw it in the water?
Yeah.
How is maybe the snake? I mean, if they're all drowning, what can the snake and the snake, I guess, will probably what the fuck are the animals going to do in that situation is what I'm asking.
Make it fucking, or no. It was a snake and a monkey, I think.
Oh, it's got to be your bull.
I think it was a snake and a monkey.
So they would just go fucking crazy?
Yeah. So your best bet was to hope the fucking snake bites the monkey.
So, but what difference does it make? I mean, you're drowning.
I don't know. They just wanted to twist the knife a little bit more, I guess.
Actually, I think that would be better. I think that would be much better than just getting tied up in a bag and thrown into a lake to drown. Because if you're drowning and you're in a bag by yourself, all you can think about is not breathing and slowly dying. But if you got a fucking monkey and a snake in there too,
it'll probably rip your fucking face off while it's happening.
You're distracted. You're not thinking about the fucking imminent death. You're just thinking about, there's a fucking monkey all over me right now and a snake biting my dick. I've never heard this though. I should look into it.
That's not even the worst one. There's fucked up ones.
I bet.
Do you like the thumbnail I picked for our story about the incest? I put a Roman painting of a Jupiter, I think it is, because he fucked his sister.
Really? I don't even recall. When did you put that on YouTube?
It was a while back. Because you said, don't give it away. So I picked something that was very vague.
Let me see. I'm having a trouble visualizing it, so I'm gonna look at it right now.
I could have put Caligula too. He fucked his sister. Those Romans like fucking their sisters.
Oh, there you go. That's right. That's it. Yeah, that's super vague. I didn't even know what the fuck it was. But I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else he could have did.
Show a pickup truck.
I guess. Let me see. So anyway, the turtles just arrived in Japan.
We talked over meeting our boy, fucking Casey Jones.
Which he looks... I'll never understand that whole thing. So they replaced Casey Jones because his character was too violent in nature, or too dark or whatever. They replaced him with a little Filipino boy.
In part 2, right?
Yeah, in part 2. Only to bring him back in this one, which this one is even more childish.
He's not violent at all in this one, though.
He doesn't do anything in this movie. His character is pointless. His only point of being in the movie is to go round up the fucking ninja guys, right, from the arcade and the bar.
And then they must have felt bad, like they didn't give him enough to do, so then they gave him an ancestor in the past.
Oh, yeah, and I forget about that. He had dual roles there.
He's very, very forgettable.
Yeah, it's just really stupid, but... Oh, here we go. It wasn't Ancestor. Did we miss it?
He already said.
I love that. Like their mouths didn't even move when he was saying that.
Look at him. Oh my God.
This looks like an episode of Wishbone. This whole fucking movie. I think I've said that. Why am I getting deja vu?
I can't help but imagine that chubby dude from Little Oliver kid from Brady Bunch inside the costume.
He's not.
I know.
He's just doing the fucking voice. You're just like the other one. Not only do we speak English, but we do it without a Japanese dialect.
Enrique.
This chick is clearly... Hey, Enrique. This chick is clearly an American, a Japanese American, you know? Even if she's Japanese at all. I mean, she looks Japanese, I guess, but who knows?
She might be related to, what's her name?
Tia Carrere?
Yeah.
I know. I knew you were going to say that. They should have cast Tia Carrere. And gave her a fucking sex scene with Michelangelo.
And she goes, I could hear you coming.
Yeah, she should know. They should have gave her an incest sex story with grandfather. I am the one. I am the one. Yeah, I like when the grandfather shows up.
See, what the fuck are they doing?
How does that make sense that they're wearing those like diapers? They would be naked. The turtles were naked. They would be naked. They don't come in with fucking things that look like the turtle shells in the front, you know?
Yeah.
Makes no fucking sense. Like, oh my God, look at this puppet. I get it. Their reactions would be very much the same, even if they knew that was a Jim Henson puppet, because they didn't have puppetry back then, but...
They're all wearing the fucking, the Raiden hats.
Yeah. Man, I love how all of their costumes, man, like look at these samurai costumes they morphed into. They all fit their heads perfectly.
Yeah.
The masks have been stretched out and elongated to fit their big fucking fat ass faces. Can you imagine those Japanese guys that wore in those costumes and those masks on them?
Yeah, it was like quantum physics. It happened so fast it made the mask stretch. It's like the fucking brindle fly, the pods.
Mm-hmm.
A fly gets in there with them and it mixes with his DNA. Just don't think about it.
I like in these movies they can never seem to get enough of the nationality to play the characters. So, I mean, this whole cast, all these people are going to be made up of like Filipinos, Thai people, Vietnamese people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood in a way is kind of racist like that. Like,
I think they just don't have a lot of people that work in the industry.
That could be part of it too. But, I'm saying like regular people might take offense if you confuse one nationality for another. Like, okay, I'm not Japanese and Chinese are pretty easy to tell apart. They are. I think they are. But, and in the film industry, they'll get pretty mad when a cast gets whitewashed and they don't hire an Asian actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those same actors will gladly take Chinese roles as they're Japanese, Korean roles as they're Japanese, vice versa. Like, they'll bend it on if it's, they're doing. So it's a little bit of a double standard.
I wonder if they're even smart enough to know that it's a character. Like, because I'm sure a lot of them don't read comic books and shit. I remember when people were pissed off that Ghost in the Shell, they gave that to Scarlett Johansson. I'm sure Scarlett Johansson didn't know what the fuck that was.
When she was agreeing to it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure somebody pitched it to her that it was a Japanime. I don't know. But sometimes animes aren't, even though they're Japanese animated or whatever, they don't always take place in Japan though, do they? Even though they look like the Japanime.
I think they take place in. I think that one actually does take place in America, if I remember right.
So then, why does it make sense? Then why would it be somebody Japanese?
I think that's one of the reasons people were laughing about it. Like, why are you pissed off? Because I think it's an American girl in the show too.
It's just one of those things. I mean, they look Japanese, but Japanime characters don't look fucking anything. They don't look Japanese. They don't look anything. They look like Japanese animated characters. They look. You telling me Goku's supposed to be Japanese?
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z.
They like talk in like 1 frame a second. One single picture is like 5 frames. I never liked anime compared to like.
Yeah, I was never into it either, and I remember when it really blew up. It really blew up with Toonami, and Dragon Ball Z got picked up for syndication on American television.
That was a racist show, apparently.
How so?
Apparently, originally, the little purple dude was black, and he was like a stereotypical black little character or something.
Oh, yeah.
But they changed it. I don't know. I just remember hearing something like that. I never watched that show. Couldn't get into stuff like that.
I want to say before it hit American airwaves and stuff, because the show was around, the ones that we got in the late 90s when it was super popular in America, those were all fucking like from the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a new cartoon, but like we were getting these new waves of shows they came in, but they were all really old. But I think the ones in Japan, like anything else, they had a little bit more content. That the show was still pretty light in tone, but some of the Japanese content's like they're really liberal with their stuff. Like I think they would show like Goku, the little kid, his dick, I think they probably had like shower scenes with a couple of the girls.
Well, the age of consent is like 10 years old there.
13.
But then, yeah, we talked about that. Like they're 1 year old when they're born, so their age is already all weird.
Wait, so that means they're really 12?
Who knows? I remember hearing like in school.
But wait, the number 13's unlucky. Don't they just skip 13?
I don't know.
Like in buildings and shit. I mean, it goes from 11 to 12 to 14.
My hotel room doesn't have a 13th floor; it just goes to 14 because of superstition. But come on, you on the 14th floor? You know what floor you're really on?
Yeah, jump out the window. You will die earlier. I already said you will die earlier.
I didn't know he had more than one comedy album. He has more than one on Spotify.
Yeah, he's got a. Yeah. That's the best one, though. That's the one that I always listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's super short, too.
My first one isn't in stores. For my first one to be in stores, I'd have to take it in there and leave it there. You forgot this. No, I didn't.
It's for sale.
Please alphabetize it.
Somebody at work, we were doing like a question at a meeting, and it was, what's your favorite quote? And I couldn't think any that were work appropriate, so I said, be excellent to each other, Bill and Ted. Man, it's a pretty good quote. But really, the first things that were coming to my mind were stuff that were not appropriate. I was thinking of Midge Hedberg quotes, which I guess those would have been all right, because he's not really dirty. But the first thing that came to my mind was something horrible. I'm like, I can't go with that. And it was Andrew Dice Clay. It was one of those old Andrew Dice Clay nursery rhymes.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard those?
Mm-hmm.
It was just the simple rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub, fags.
I don't remember that one.
Like, that was one of them. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub, and he takes a drag. Fags. Like that. That's it. Like, okay.
Mac has a friend that used to do he used to always do a bit like that. he'd be talking like a bro, like an alpha bro. He'd be like, yeah, so fucking, but he would say like he's fucking a guy, and he'd just make it like progressively gayer through the story. Like, yeah, so fucking this guy, right? I'm pounding his fucking ass. We're fucking hardcore. I come in his face, and then it always end the same way. It always end with, and then he says, "You want to cuddle?" And I'm like, fag.
That sounds like an Andrew Dice Clay thing, except
that's probably what he got it from. Yeah,
because Andrew Dice Clay would start anecdotes like that. He would take a drag of a cigarette, and be like, "So I'm fucking this chick, right? Balls bouncing off her ass." That's how he would start stories.
That's probably what he got it from. I never put it together though.
It sounds like Andrew Dice Clay. Yeah, balls bouncing off her ass. Don't you ever wanna taste it? Honey, if I wanted to taste it, I'd be a faggot. Oh! Just whatever.
Whatever happened to that dude?
He kind of still lingers on. He's got a show on Showtime. Dice, he's got his own show.
I thought you were gonna say he kind of still exists.
Like, he kind of lingers on. It's weird. I mean, no, he's not what he was, because in the late 80s and the early 90s, he was selling out arenas.
Mm-hmm.
And he touts, and it could be true. I don't know. He was saying, like, I was like the first comedian to ever fucking sell out, arenas. And who knows? I mean, I know there was big comedians before him, but maybe it's possible that none of them really ever thought to fill arenas back then,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then he kind of dried up, and now he just does the club circuit or whatever, like any other comedian, small clubs and stuff. But he always kind of shows up every now and again, though.
In Jury Duty.
Yeah, in Jury Duty. He's the highlight of that shit fest.
People not knowing what Jury Duty is think that I met him at Jury Duty or something. That's not what I meant.
Did I tell you my jury duty? My grand jury. Do you know what? Did I tell you who served on the grand jury before my jury?
I don't think so.
Fucking Alice Cooper.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he lives there, don't he?
Yeah. I'll work jury duty with you, Alice Cooper. It would have been awesome, man. Just sit in that little room. Because it's like a little room. It'd be nuts just to sit there with Alice Cooper and be like right next to him because your seats are signed.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee.
Meaning the good land. Yeah. So Bill and Ted 3, man, when are we going to get a Wayne's World 3?
Who knows?
We'll never get a Wayne's World 3 because Bill and Ted's not going to do the crazy numbers, right? It's just not.
Yeah.
It won't. So it would actually, I don't know, but I still think Wayne's World 3 would still do really well. I think it could still do well.
There's a part of me that's like,
leave it alone.
How the fuck could somebody not want to go see Bill and Ted 3? And then I realized, like, most of Americans are stupid, so yeah, it probably won't do good. Leg.
It just goes back to what I said earlier. Bill and Ted were gone for way too long, and the main demo, they're not going to see the movie because they don't know who they are. That's just the brass tacks of it. These movies that bank all the fucking money, these big blockbusters, these Marvel movies, these Disney movies, they're attracting everybody. Kids, little kids, parents.
They're not attracting me.
But I'm saying in bulk numbers, they are. I just don't think, I don't know, Bill and Ted, I hope it does well, but I just don't think it will.
One can hope.
Unless they get enough of our demo and up.
I think you're I think you're kind of selling it short. I think most people probably know who they are.
But come on, man, you really think 25 and younger know who they are? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I really
don't
don't
hang out with a lot of children.
They won't know it. They're gonna rely on people. Not 30. Like I said, even me. When I was a little kid, I watched Bill and Ted when it was fairly new, and I just grew up with it on TV. You too. So they're gonna rely on people around 30, probably the 30 to 40 range.
I mean, these are all people that could easily have seen it on Netflix too.
Yeah, I think you're giving it a little too much credit. I think 30 to 45 is gonna be their number, but they might surprise us, man, because Expendables did. When Expendables came out, 10 years ago, and they were getting together all these washed up old has-been action guys from the 80s. On paper, that shouldn't have worked, But it was a gimmick. It's like, hey, we're getting enough of these fucking action guys together.
And that wasn't even a sequel. That was just a bunch of names in it. Maybe people were like, John Wick's in a movie where he plays a stoner. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it might. Or it might come out and get an entirely brand new audience, regardless of it being a sequel, right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, them not calling it Bill and Ted 3 might be a good thing, right? Just like they don't put a number on any of them. Mm-hmm. So these young kids might just want to see the movie not even knowing it came from, you know what I'm saying? Because it could. Yeah. If they make a good trailer with like John Wick in there and he's acting like, whoa, and all that stuff, it could be funny. I'm sure they'll all be like, who the fuck is this Alex Winter guy? Because he's been gone for 30 years.
He's the director of a fucking great movie, Freaked.
I know, but nobody knows who he is. Mm-hmm. So who knows? I think they could still capture an audience. Hopefully, it looks really funny and it's got a great trailer, and they market it really well. Is all I can say. But like I said, the Expendables, man, kids didn't see that. It was R-rated, and they were pretty much surviving off of the 30 to 50, 30 to 60 year, an older demo, mm-hmm. and that movie made over 100 million in the North American box office, so we'll see.
We'll see.
But that had more of a gimmick we'll see. It had a little bit more of a gimmick to rely on. So, did Casey Jones wear a wig for his scenes in the present?
I would guess, yeah.
We need to look at it. Or do you really think you think it's possibly filmed all the scenes first with the long hair? Because it's really just a couple. And then cut it for the rest of it? Because I could see how they film these at different times. One of them's on a set and this one's on location.
That's the thing, though. Would Elias Koteas have long hair regular? Because you never see him with long hair in any other movie he's ever been in.
Oh yeah, right. You're probably right. And he's like losing his hair. It was probably real for the first movie.
Yeah, maybe
it could have been. But yeah, you're right. I've never seen him in another role or out and about where he had long hair. So maybe it is a wig.
Mm-hmm.
But even if it was real, they could have ideally, because like all his 2 or 3 scenes are all on a set, that stupid fucking warehouse looking thing, and then this is all on location. I could see where they could have. I wonder where they filmed this, like the location part of it. You think it's in Japan? I doubt it. It's probably fucking Georgia.
Look. I'm on the IMDb right now.
Okay, it's definitely not Georgia. Maybe it is Asia, but I bet you it could be like Thailand. I think it's much cheaper to film in Thailand and places like that.
Yeah. I always have trouble finding it. Filming locations. Astoria, Oregon, USA. Yeah.
Okay. Oregon. Well, okay, that explains the mountains and stuff that they just showed. I just knew it wasn't fucking Georgia after I saw that scenery.
He's a bad villain for the movie.
But I don't hate him, though.
He's just kind of there.
He's not super threatening or anything, but he's kind of got this weird charm.
It seems like he's the guy setting that you think's the villain, but then, like, towards the end, you find out he's not.
She has no power. I like his little lines, little quips.
And then the way he dies is amazing.
I love it when he's like... what was he saying when they're accusing her of being a witch, right? Did we miss that part?
We might have.
So when they put her in the cage or whatever, the Japanese people are accusing her of being a witch because she just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And then Walker's like, "Fine. Done! Shrink me then, witch." And then she doesn't. She comes back with, "You watch out."
See, doesn't he look like a football or a basketball? Just those little, like, bumps on his face.
Wait. Why is there always... God. Fucking mask. Fake ass.
What were you going to say? Why is there always what?
I don't even remember. I just saw him fucking talk right now and his fucking lips flapping everywhere and it looks so stupid.
It looks like they try to put a tan on him or something.
Do you know, like, a spray tan?
Yeah.
He looks orange. Do you remember what other movie he played a bad guy in? I mean, he's usually a bad guy when he's been in movies, but okay, fine. What other 2 notable movies did he play the bad guy in?
I don't even recognize him.
Yeah, Stuart Wilson's his name. He's been in other movies, but the movies I think about it, he was the bad guy in The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas, Selma Hayek. Did you ever see that?
Never seen that.
Very similar type character, you know.
He's in Hot Fuzz.
No, he's not.
That's what it says on his IMDb.
He is?
Dr. Robin Hatcher.
What?
Maybe a small part.
Let me see. And he also played the bad guy in Lethal Weapon 3.
Oh.
And he was... Lethal Weapon 2 is so good, and the South Africans were such good villains in that one. Then the third one's out, and this guy is the bad guy, and he's so hokey. He's so dope. Everything he says is a one-liner, which is both horrible and fucking funny at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he pours cement on somebody, like wet cement, you know? And then he says, this is a relationship we could really build on. You know, and walks away.
Oh, yeah. I wrote something down to bring up because I thought about whenever you're talking about feigning. Do you ever, like, whenever you're laying down, watching TV or whatever, and then, like, you just stand up real quick to go get something? Do you ever get, like, lightheaded?
If you stand up too fast, I hear that happens.
Yeah, is that just a part of getting older? Is there something wrong with me? What's going on?
I'm not sure if I've noticed it myself, but I've heard about that. I'll have to be on the eye out for it, but
I've been thinking I might, like, maybe got low blood pressure or something.
Holy fuck, man. I'm looking at a picture of him right now in Hot Fuzz. I didn't even know that was him. He looks unrecognizable. He looks unrecognizable.
Yeah, I don't remember him in it.
I mean, he's got a beard, he's old, he's got glasses. He looks totally unrecognizable.
Look.
I'd cast him.
The scene where he saves the little kid. Would you run into a house like that?
Grandfather, help! What's that?
Would you run into a house like that?
The grandfather's beard looks fucking fake as shit, man. It looks like it's held on by a string.
See, it's a good thing that Grandpa don't have to go in the house. That'd catch on fire real quick.
Yeah. Dude, he's a pussy, man. Why are they letting this... Why are any of the family going in there?
I wouldn't go in there. That looks scary and hot.
You'd be like, fuck you, kid.
I thought about becoming a firefighter once, and then I was like, nah, that looks scary and hot.
Would you just yell into the flames, hoping he'd hear you and be like, I'll just love your brother all the more? Yeah, I don't know how... Like, that fire seems... Like, I don't think he'd be alive. That's a pretty raging fire, right?
Yeah.
He looks like he'd be fucking dead. Because it's not like a big building, right? Where there's a lot of space. And no, that's a little bitty fucking hut, and the whole thing looks engulfed in flames.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be so dead. There's no life in him! He's casting an evil spell on him!
He just toked it so hard.
Yoshi. They didn't even fucking... That's so stupid.
What if he was dead? What if they, like, he killed him? It was the fire the turtle killed him. That big fucking toad.
That's what it said. Look, they're about to say that he's going to put an evil spell on him. Watch. He's going to try to give him CPR. He's going to put his fake-ass rubber mouth on him.
You think if the Ninja Turtles pissed on you, you'd get a wart?
I don't know.
I don't even think that's real. I think it's just a myth.
I didn't know it came from piss.
I think it's actually frogs, too.
Look at this. He is molesting him. Look.
What an idiot. I saved his life just to fucking kill him with a spell.
Hey, and why isn't April like, hey, let these giant fucking Jim Henson Muppets like try and do it? Why isn't she trying to do it? Does she not know CPR?
Let these giant Jim Henson Muppets molest your kid.
Look at that. Plus 2 points for that guy in his acting. Look at these dramatic faces they're giving. He's not really fucking pushing on his chest at all. Look at that.
The kid's clearly just like, he was just moving his mouth.
Yeah, look, and he wasn't really fucking pressing on his chest either. Do you know when you do that, you have to break the rib cage?
Do you?
Yeah, you have to push hard. You like literally, you fracture the person's rib cage.
Fudge. That sounds painful.
Like, get the fuck away from me. If that's what I woke up to, man. An inch away from that guy's fucking face. Look at that weird smile.
Yeah, smile.
It like curls up.
It's almost sinister looking.
I'd be like, Michelangelo's all praising him. I'd be like, you motherfucker, you upstaged me. I jumped in the fucking fire. I went in the fire and saved him. You fucking made out with him for 2 seconds.
He went through the fire and the flames.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, Leonardo doing. I mean, he just, he breathed into him for a second.
Mm-hmm. Whatever happened to Dragon Force?
They're still around, man. They've had like 4 singers or something like that.
They always had those really like funny, redundant song titles.
Flash in the pan, man. Guitar Hero is the best thing that ever happened to him. That's the only reason why they were known for about 15 minutes.
I actually knew about them before Guitar Hero. I had one of their CDs.
So did I. No, I knew about them too, but as far as somewhat of on a mainstream level. But
did you ever see that video where somebody took the guitarist, the Herman Lee guy, the Chinese dude, or is he Chinese?
Just say Asian, play it safe, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know where he's from, but he was an Asian guy, yeah. And then they it was like a little demo where he was playing guitar and talking to the camera. And since he's an Asian dude, they're like, let's overdub his voice so we can have him say anything. And it was basically like, oh, hey, it's Herman Lee. I'm going to show you how to play Mario sounds on guitar. You can be cool like me.
Herman Lee.
It's funny.
Now, weren't they like under fire because people said that they really couldn't perform live very well? Like they were recording songs that they couldn't really play to a T live?
Yeah, they were like, oh, they get drunk before the show. But then there were people that I think they just fucking like speed up their recordings. They can't really play that fast. I never seen them live or anything.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of it. It's just too fast all the time. It's not that it wouldn't be fun, but like it can't just be like one fucking speed all the time.
Yeah.
It's also remember the Hokey band The Darkness?
I had their first CD too.
It's a good CD. It's actually a good CD.
I believe in thing called love. What was the other song?
Their band went to shit. Their band went to shit too, man, because their singer Justin Hawkins, he couldn't lay off the fucking juice, man. Needles.
Oh yeah.
But their other song, I know on their second album, the lead single was "One Way Ticket to Hell and Back." That one was catchy.
I'd never heard any of their other albums, just the first one.
What was the other? There was that song,
"Growing on Me."
Oh, that's the other one. Yeah, that's the other one.
I didn't listen, okay? If you listen to that, it didn't even sound like they were talking to each other. Just like, say these random lines and it'll sound like you're arguing with each other. Do fucking turtles outgrow their shell, or can they leave their shell?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they grow with their shell, man. They're not hermit crabs.
Yeah, but I was thinking that, but I don't know if shells, could they grow?
Aren't shells basically part of their skeleton?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, like, aren't they skeletal? Isn't it kind of weird how shells grow? But, like, in the movie Cannibal Holocaust, when they ripped the shell off, it had, like, a spine under it and all that shit, right?
Yeah, that's what was making me think about it, yeah. That scene's gross, by the way.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's gross.
We should do that movie. It's not as gross as beating the fuck out of a cat or throwing a dog in the river, but
I'm saying that seems to be the theme of this episode.
Right.
Look at that. Do we miss it when they said swing? Another reference?
No, I did.
They did. Swing!
That's raunchy for a kid's movie.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird, man. They're talking about dicks. They don't got boners, dude. How do they get turned on? Aren't turtles like frogs and they're kind of asexual and they can change their sex?
I don't know, maybe.
Take me with you. Till time. So she didn't want to get naked. She's just going to get wet and wear that fucking mildewy. It's going to get all mildewy, you know?
Yeah. I would hit that, though.
I mean, her short hair looks better wet like that, but...
Oh, I was talking about fucking Casey Jones.
Casey Jones. He was also in that really. He was also in that fucking movie by the worst director ever. Why can't I fucking think of his name? He was in the movie Thin Red Line. What's the fucking guy? The fucking asshole direct Tree of Life. Thin Red Line. Why can't I spit his name out?
Oh, Terrence Malick or something like that.
Terrence Malick. Yeah. Oh, God, I hate that movie. Hate those movies. Hate his directing style.
He's a pretentious fuck.
Okay, is he wearing a wig? Let's look. Could be. It's got to be. Yeah, that's a wig.
I can never tell.
That it could easily be a wig. Hey, who knows? But it clearly was different times though, because he was obviously willing. He filmed these before or after, because he don't have any facial hair, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the beard he has is probably a good couple weeks, you know.
Mm-hmm. Allow me to possete.
Oh, hockey.
Why the fuck is Hockey playing that Cartoon Network fucking soundtrack?
Yeah, because it had to make a sound for the movie. Look at that. So, did anybody want to give them some fucking clothes, man? You just let them walk around in diapers?
Holy shit! Yeah, it just showed Splinter, and he had no feet. Like they didn't even hide it.
Was there a blanket?
There was a blanket on him, but like it wasn't extended down to past like where his feet would have been.
He looked like an amputee.
Yeah.
I know, man. It's totally stupid. I want to say, did Kevin Clash do this voice too? Because the voice sounds way different. But I think it is Kevin Clash. Let me see. It was that Elmo molesting motherfucker.
It was after he quit smoking.
Let's see. Do you think Kevin Clash should have lost his job?
On this movie?
As Elmo?
I remember, didn't you say he did?
Oh, he did, yeah. Do you think he should have, though?
What was the situation again?
Because the whole situation had him coming out of the closet because somebody accused him of fucking him, having a relationship with him when he was 16. The kid's no longer 16 anymore. This is something that happened years ago.
But didn't the kid admit that he lied about his age?
It was something like that. It was something like that. But he was 16, and I think at the time, and this was like in the 90s or something, so it was a long time ago, that it happened. And Kevin Clash was, I want to say Kevin Clash was like in his upper 20s.
Yeah, if he didn't know.
There's always that room for error that he could have looked 18 and it could have been lied to.
Mm-hmm.
But he, regardless, there's no crime to be had because it's years later, but it smeared his image and he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That one's kind of that's just like a fucking damage control move. Like, hey, we got to fire you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to listen to you and think that.
The only people that listen to it are kids. So I don't think they would.
I wonder if that guy could sue, if Kevin Clash could sue the guy that smeared his name like fucking all those years later, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. He could definitely prove that he cost him his job and money.
Okay, I'm going to look this up. Kevin Clash, you motherfucker, did you play the shitty Simpsons? Let's see. The shitty...
He said Simpsons.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, I'm like reading these names and I'm like talking at the same time. I'm looking at this headshot of Vivian Wu who played Mitsu, and she looks really hot in the headshot.
She's pretty cute. She's the Asian chick.
And she's hot when she's all made up. Yeah, yeah, she is. Different guy played Splinter. This guy named James Murray. This white guy.
Yeah.
Yo, dude!
Yo, dude!
Oh.
I'd love to be able to do an impression of that dude.
Which guy?
Michelangelo.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember this movie being better.
Yeah, it's just kind of here.
Yeah.
Who brought that cannon all the way out there to the beach for him?
He carried it on his back.
Oh, what a good shot.
It didn't even look like he lit anything. It didn't look like there was any wick there.
That's stupid. I think it takes a little time for those to go off too, not like half a second later. So he builds this kind of relationship with Mikey gets an arc in this. Because the other two movies were just about Raph, right?
Mm-hmm.
Raph still has his arc, and I guess it's kind of with the kid, right?
Yeah.
But Michelangelo gets a little fucking play in this, and he's like almost in love with Me Too.
Me Too? You want me to cut those out, or? You know what's funny is I remember back a couple years ago, you farted, and then like I left it in, and then the next episode you said, "Hey, can you cut those out? Like seriously, I really want you to." And I was like, "Can I use them on a soundboard for Mac and Zach?" And then it was funny because I always planned on making it a soundboard, waiting till you were on Mac and Zach, and then using them, and then waiting for you to comment, and then saying, "Yeah, that is really gross, isn't it? Only a fucking gross person would do that, right?" And then at the end, play that soundbite where you told me to cut them out, and then where I said I'd make it a soundboard, but I always forgot, and now I can never do it because I just told you.
And then you could have the soundboard of River. Oh, it stinks.
Yeah. My dog just farted, dude.
Stinks. Yeah, so let's play hockey with him. Hey, he's Jason.
See, they're literally just making shit up for him to do.
Yeah, it's dumb. I mean, they could have just ditched the whole plot that they trade places with people and sent them back in time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just by themselves, and the movie would have been just the same without it. But they had to have some sort of like sub narrative to make the movie longer, more bloated, and I guess add a comedic element to it. Apparently, like this whole fish out of water thing. I don't know, but it's pretty stupid, man.
It is.
Is that one? Is one of those guys spanking the other one?
Hopefully.
Yeah, dude, he's totally wearing a wig.
Oh, could you see it move there or something?
It just looks fucking fake.
Oh, okay.
It's not even his natural hair color, man.
Is it?
Dude, his hair's... Remember in the first one, his hair's darker?
Yeah. I was wondering what he's doing here. He had to salt the paper.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Don't know.
Why do they wear dicks on their heads?
Thank you for citing my napkin.
Have you ever seen the Daimyo? This guy, he was in a lot of stuff like that needed Asian actors, but he was in Gung Ho. Did you ever see that with Michael Keaton?
I don't think so. He does look familiar, though.
That's a really good movie. I'm a Michael Keaton fan.
We should do Multiplicity.
I love that movie, man. I think it's a great movie.
I haven't seen it in so long.
It's to me, it's just a great idea and a premise for a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what it should be. Like the idea.
In a world full of fucking Michael Keatons, who wouldn't want that? I would buy my own to take home.
The TV that they, the movie that they always play on TV is Mr. Mom, but they never play Gung Ho ever, which to me is funnier. It's a funny movie. It's very much that 80s Michael Keaton, kind of his weird spastic humor that he has. Mm-hmm. They never play it. And it's got the Asian guy from... Actually, it's got like all the actors that are in that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer puts the fucking guys in the drawers. Because the Daimyo plays that guy at the business meeting. Remember? They're having the meeting with Jerry about the show.
Yeah.
And they're asking if they can have the fruit. Oh, yeah. He's the guy in the suit and tie. Yeah, it's this guy, Daimyo. But that guy is in Gung Ho. So is the main guy, Mr. Jerry. You know, he's in there too. They kind of just recycled all his actors. Mm-hmm. It's the guy that played the Donger, right? From 16 Candles, is it?
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I've seen that movie, but I don't remember the character you're talking about.
Anyway, they should play that movie more, and it should be streaming. And did you ever see the Michael Keaton movie Clean and Sober?
I don't think so.
That was kind of his breakthrough role, dramatic wise, in the 80s. Dude, that's a good movie. I think it was his first role where he wasn't like kind of silly. But I always liked his style of comedy because he was like a real guy. It was like real comedy. He wasn't like Dumb and Dumber doing something fucking slapstick and being unrealistic. he was like very much a real guy that just kind of had this zany kind of personality, you know?
Mm-hmm. Look at that yo-yo. That's a cool yo-yo. Is it the one with the little spinny thing? And it's really easy to fucking sleep it?
What about the Sparks?
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
You remember when yo-yos were all the fucking rage in the 90s?
Yeah, in the 90s. They were just huge all of a sudden.
Yeah, they were huge all of a sudden. Everybody at school had them, man. Then I think immediately after yo-yos came hacky sack.
Yeah.
Then everybody was outside at the front of the school kicking around a hacky sack. And I'm like, why is this so cool?
I could never do that. I could never do the hacky sack.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Yo-yos are kind of... I still like yo-yos. I mean, they're kind of cool to like walk around the house. I mean, I'd play with one right now if I had it.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when... I mean, I know I'm a couple years older than you. I remember when Slipknot first came out. This was my experience. Slipknot first came out in the summer of 99, and they had been on Ozfest that year, and that's when they kind of exploded. And then I remember going back to school freshman year of high school, I believe. I think it was freshman year. And the first day of school, like, always fucking, like, the punk, all the metal, they all had Slipknot shirts. Like, they were everywhere. Like, what the fuck happened? Who's this band? You know, where'd this band come from?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had some of the big fat juggalo-looking dudes wearing the jumpsuits, the orange jumpsuits. They literally look like the fucking clown. It was just one of those things, man. But then again, you know, when Limp Bizkit was all the rage, I don't remember a bunch of people wearing the fucking red ball caps, you know? Was that like a thing?
Yeah. I don't remember it.
It's not like everybody in school was wearing. Now, he may or may not have helped popularize and trend just wearing backwards ball caps in general, but I never saw anybody with like red Yankees caps.
Yeah, I saw like I think I was looking for it was whenever I was making the thumbnail for that Tales from the Crypt episode with Curry with the hat on.
Yeah.
I was doing a Google search for red New York Yankees hat, and the first thing that pops up is Fred Durst in an interview confirms he still has his stinky New York Yankees hat.
Why is that news?
You know why he wore that, right?
I don't.
Because he was losing his hair, so he wore a hat.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. And back then it wasn't. He was trying to be in a hip, upcoming like band that all the kids loved, and it doesn't look cool if you look like a fucking old man.
Yeah, I noticed I'm getting thin on top a couple weeks ago.
Dude, Fred Durst was fucking old.
Mm-hmm.
He was never young. Like, I'm gonna look how old he is now. He was too old to be attracting the crowds he was. Let me see. And yeah, it just would have made him look that much older with his hairline showing.
I think I remember like watching some like a MTV thing, and his hat came off, and yeah, his hairline was receding, and I was like, oh, that must be why.
Yeah, man. So Fred Durst is 47 now. So I mean, I guess he wasn't that old. He was around 30 when they exploded, you know?
Yeah.
But still, that's kind of old, considering the TRL crowd and those bands that were getting really popular at the time. They're usually in their younger 20s. But that's weird to think a guy like Fred Durst is literally like, let me think. I don't know, like just a few years younger than bands like Metallica that have been around a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these guys. It's weird. It's like the clown from Slipknot. I think he was like in his fucking mid-30s when they got signed. You know, he's old as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, your hair's thinning out. Tell us the story.
Yeah.
Do you find it in the shower drain?
No, I saw a picture of myself. I was like, whoa. It looks thinner towards the back of it.
What do you mean in the back of it?
Like where
you can't, a receding hairline?
Where you can't see it when you look in the mirror.
Up top?
Yeah.
Whenever I go get my haircut, I always ask him like, "Hey, how's it looking up top?"
Oh yeah.
You know, he's like tell me, is it thinning out? And I'll ask people every now and again because I can't see it. Sometimes though, like I didn't freak out. I mean, if I go bald, I go bald. But I remember when I was in Vegas a few weeks ago, someone took a picture of me from behind, and it looked like I was really thin. Like there's a thinning bald spot, like in that spot you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy shit. It's like, look at this fucking bald. I just had bedhead. I didn't shower. We were in Vegas. We were up nonstop, and I actually took a snooze, and I fucking had matted hair in the back, and it made it look kind of thin in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it was. So it could be stuff like that, man. But who cares? If you go bald, you go bald. You know, it happens. My dad, though, they say that I don't know what basis this is off of. Like when it comes, it's from your mom's side of the family.
I've heard that. My dad never went bald either.
So they say if it's from your mom's side of the family, so you would basically go off your mom's dad, right? Now, and I don't know if like hairstyle has anything to do with the genetics behind it as far as baldness, right? Because my mom's side of the family, my grandfather and her brother, they have really thick, dark hair, really thick, clumpy, dark hair, right? And my brother, one of my brothers, he's like the black sheep. Only one of my brothers, he looks just like that side of the family. He looks a lot like my mom's brother, and he has that thick, clumpy, fucking Screech Powers, shaggy do hair. The rest of everybody else in my family has hair like my dad, where it's kind of like a scarecrow and kind of dirty blonde, you know, light brown. So our hair looks like our dad's hair, right? But it's like, okay, so does it still go off the genetics of the mom's side? If our hair physically looks like my fucking dad's hair, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, my dad was pretty bald. He was very, very thinning up there and noticeably bald by about 25. And by around 30, he was noticeably bald. And I think by his early 30s, he was just shaving his head bald. You know, just taking a bic to it. And I'm almost 32 and I'm not bald yet. So does male pattern baldness work like that? If it was actually male pattern baldness, would I go bald at the same time my dad did?
I don't know.
Did I pass it?
I've heard people say it's up to like the mom side of the family, but then I've heard people say that no, the dad side can, like, you get the better genes. So, yeah.
I just don't think something like that would be an exact science. I would think it would vary.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I just don't see how that works. It's like, oh, you know, don't worry, you get your mom's side of the family's dick size. It's like, oh, so you always get your whatever. So grandpa on my mom's side, can I see your dick? Like, you just like, it doesn't make sense. It's just kind of like a jumbled thing. It's just kind of whatever. But I can tell you, there's 10 of us, 7 boys, 3 girls. None of us are bald. My dad was fucking bald as shit. And when he finally went bald, he took a bic to his head the whole time, but you could tell he never let his hair grow out. Like, he always kept it Mr. Clean style, but he had the whole horseshoe.
Oh yeah.
The whole horseshoe. It was gone. Now we're not all totally old enough and out of the clear yet, but I'm 32. I still have my hair. My dad was way since bald. My other brother, he's almost 31. He looks just like my grandfather and my mom, and he's got thick ass shaggy hair. And then, you know, I got other brothers that are 25, 26. They're twins. And that's about the time my dad's hair was noticeably thinning. They got all their hair. So I don't know what gives, you know. I've got a couple more little brothers at home that are like 15, 16, 17. So I guess they're not out of the clear yet. But I always...
How long were your parents fucking?
Never stopped. And it literally didn't stop because...
It's like the fucking Cosby Show over there.
Literally, it didn't stop. And there was one kid, I don't remember who it was. I think it was one of my little sisters, but she was literally conceived while my mom was asleep. My dad did his business when my mom was asleep.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's kind of rape, I guess.
Unless it was one of those instances where you're so tired, you just kind of aren't all there.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it too hard, but I just know that she was just totally asleep. Like, totally asleep. She was asleep when he got home from work, and she was still asleep when he was done.
I've gotten up and went to take a shit, like, asleep before.
Really?
And just kind of woke up on the toilet.
Did you have a sandwich in your hand because you eat on the toilet too?
No. That would have been cool, though.
I sleep naked for the most part, but if I happen to fall asleep with like some sort of pajamas on or pants or whatever, I always wake up and I'm naked. I've done kicked them off or taken them off in the middle of the night. And I think I have woken up in the middle of the night with my dick in my hand. like maybe I wasn't doing anything like that before.
Catch me if you can. Fuck the law with
my dick in my hand. Generation Triple X. It's all about the weed smoking and kinky sex. But yeah, I don't know. So it's like I don't know what I'm doing when I'm fucking asleep, but I don't have any sex dreams or anything that I can remember. I'm sure I do. I just can't remember any of them, so I don't know why I'd be fucking grabbing myself.
It's fucking weird. Your mind, baby. Your mind, baby. Open your mind.
And I told you the story about the tube sock.
Mm-hmm. That is weird. Like I read that because I always knew guys could because I've done it.
Hey, wait. He only kicked one of them. Why'd they both fall down on cue?
I don't know.
He only kicked one of them.
I read like a fun fact: men and women can both have an orgasm while they're sleeping. And I was like, that is weird when you think about it.
Well, we talk wet dreams when you're an adolescent.
Yeah, like no one's touching your dick, but you think you're having sex.
That's weird. The concept of wet dreams are weird. I mean, is no one touching it, or like in your sleep, are you fucking humping the pillow or humping your bed? You know, not that I want to think about it too hard, but all I can tell you is maybe when you're that young, wet dreams are not a thing anymore. They just don't happen. Like you're in more control. I don't know if I've ever had a wet dream, by the way, but they just don't happen. But I think when you're that age, it can happen because I remember when I was that age too. It's like the first time it ever happened, I was hands free. It just started happening. I was like, what's happening? Ah! I wasn't touching a damn thing. I was watching this porno with these 4 lesbians diking it out in a spa, a hot tub.
Did you just like, did it just come out or did you have a full-blown orgasm?
It was full-blown, man.
Yeah, I don't, that's crazy.
I didn't even know, I was still at that, 11 or whatever. I was still at the age where, because you like that stuff before you can ever really know what you do with it, Mm-hmm. You don't know why. It's like, oh, I want to watch the boobies or whatever. And that's so weird to think about it. Now when I think about it in hindsight, when I was a little kid and I'd watch like the fuzzy vision, I'd watch the squiggly channels and stuff, and I'd try and look at boobs. I wonder why I was really doing it because I couldn't jerk off or anything. It's like, It was such a weird thing. But
did you see his teeth?
Yeah, they're really big. Look, there it is again. Yeah, it looks stupid. He's gonna cut his hair. He wants him to jack him off. Did you hear that?
Finish me off.
He wants him to
finish me
jack him off. Finish me.
In his culture, that's like
You could have fucking killed him, man. He could have been off by an inch, and that fucking thing just crushed him.
Yeah.
Look how precise.
It's genius.
Anyway, yeah. So it's funny though, but yeah, the first time it happened, it was just like any other normal situation where I still wanted to like watch it, but I couldn't do anything about it. Which, like I said, still blows me away, man. How people do that. But I put in this videotape that was recorded off like Playboy Channel or something. It was 4 chicks diking it out in a hot tub at a spa, and that'd be a trip to see that movie again. By the way, like it just brings back so many memories.
You ever have like romanticized feeling, like memories of seeing something, and then you watch it again? It's like this. There's not 4 chicks. There's only 2 chicks. Stuff like that.
No, this was definitely 4 chicks. But anyway, I was just literally sitting down, and what's funny is I was naked.
You were?
Yeah. I think I was at that age where I like wanted it to happen because I was aware of it, right? But I was like, some people are a little behind from like your peers, whatever.
But you didn't know how to jack off yet?
No, no, I didn't. Anyway, I'm just like literally sitting there watching it. I'm on the floor, and all of a sudden it just happens. Like, what the fuck? Ah! It was like a geyser, and it's fucking like a crazy. I don't know if guys can have what they call full body orgasms.
Did you open your mouth and try to catch it?
Like my fucking old roommate, dude. Oh, so gross.
Clam chowder.
But I remember that was just the weirdest fucking thing. I was like, I didn't know what happened. I'm like, what the fuck? And I knew what it was, like, because I was still aware, but I was like, oh man, that was amazing. I was like, that was amazing. That was the start of the Renaissance, man. That was the start of me in the shower taking 4 showers a day.
I could never jack off of the shower.
I could when I was that age, when it was very new.
It's too wet.
When it was that new, I could, because I don't know, it was just so new I could do it anywhere. And you needed privacy. I had a big family, so that naturally the shower is the place to do it. But yeah, nowadays I could never do it. It's like you said, too wet. It's too steamy and hot, and I would probably just fucking pass out and crack my head on the fucking tile.
You can't get good friction.
Yeah, I can't even get. This is really fucking intimate information, by the way.
Yeah, I can't get hard. I can't normally either.
It would be a half chub.
Yeah, it's just like that part of my body shuts off when I'm in the shower.
Yeah, interesting.
If anybody wants to have sex with me in the shower, I feel bad for them. Or good for them, because it'd be bad anyway.
Yeah, I don't see how that would be a good thing at all. I think it's just one of those things that looks good on film or something. I don't know.
That's a big ass wick. That's gonna take like 2 days.
Yeah, it's really convenient.
He kind of looks like something about his face reminds me of Kiefer Sutherland.
That was in the trailer.
Yeah.
You miss me. Ooh, I love being a turtle. Why would it have that fucking echo in there? And the shell's supposed to be like attached. Like, look at that. His shoulders wouldn't go down. Look at CGI. Did you see that?
Goofy. Yeah, it looked weird.
Weird CGI.
Was there CGI?
It was CGI. His whole body when it came up was CGI. It looked fucking weird.
It looked weird.
It was CG.
I don't know why they would CG that.
It's so fucking funny.
Oh look, Don King.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's the singer from The Cure.
That would be Robert Smith.
Yeah.
Got to save his bird, man. This is where we're going to see him fall into the water here soon, but not fall in the water.
He just kind of shrinks into the water.
Get him. Fuck his ass. Wow, they're really taking their time getting there. Come on, everybody. They're just kind of like, Dude, that fucking hurt my feet, man.
Yeah. This does remind me of Tenchu.
Shut the fuck up, Mikey. He's annoying in this. So good for your calves, dude. Like they fucking care, man. They're ripped to shreds. They tone down their muscles, by the way, in this movie. They're actually kind of skinny.
They look so fucking weird and jarring compared to the other ones.
What kind of demons are you? Of the Teenage Mutant Ninja variety.
Yeah, do they think like we need to give them bigger teeth to make them look more cartoony? Because the littler kids were getting scared at certain scenes in the first two.
I love that Raph. Yeah, and he flips his sigh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie sucks, everybody.
Check it out.
For a shitty movie, though, I've watched it more than a handful of times, you know?
Yeah, there's better movies that I haven't seen, and I've seen this multiple times.
And when I was a kid, when it was new, it's funny, you're easier to impress when you're a kid, and I watched this quite a few times when I was a kid. Always acknowledged it was the lesser of the movies, but I still watched it because it was Turtles.
I remember, like, up until I was a certain age, I pretty much liked every movie I watched.
Yeah.
Like, I found something to like about everything I saw.
This guy, I think he dies because of his fucking bird, yeah. He tries to save that bird. Once again, Casey Jones murdering the villain.
Does the bird die too?
I don't know if anybody claimed it, but yeah, he would have survived. Look at,
Here it is.
let's see.
That's so terrible. Look at his face.
Look at his teeth.
It looks like he's reacting to what we just saw.
Not Raphael's teeth.
He's just
I
like,
know.
what the fuck? What was that?
So you gotta pick which one you want for the thumbnail, man. Raph's teeth. Because Raph's teeth are pretty fucking big right there. You can probably put both of them, man.
All of
Both
them?
of them
Just side by side, put them all.
But those are the only two where I really noticed them really showing their fucking gums, man. Because Donatello in this has a bit of a beak, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of hovers his teeth. But he does too, a little bit.
How's come this is something they bring up right here and then right away it's just dropped? I'm staying here, I'm not going back. Oh, never mind.
You are going back to New York.
Yeah, it's funny.
Been there, done that.
It's her home.
They don't have pizza there, asshole.
He just doesn't care about his dad, Splinter, anymore. The big rat. I don't want to see him.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. That is funny.
Look how
Look at that
fucking
smile.
goofy. Like, why is he smiling? When did you just make a mirage, like what's that called? Collage. I almost said mirage.
A collage.
A collage of every goofy face they make.
He should. That'd be so fucking...
That means I'll have to watch it again, though.
You could do it like in the style... You could do it like in the style of the Evolution Man, you know? Like different like faces, and it's like all those stupid faces. His little weird smile, pursed lips all the way up to his teeth. This Casey is still...
Look at his beard. He's kind of got like a Fred Durst beard going on. See, what the fuck is the point of this scene?
Yeah, comedy, comedic relief, I guess. Kids probably like it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. See, if this was the Double Dragon movie, he'd be playing the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. Because that is a thing that happens.
Really? I never actually watched the Double Dragon movie.
There's a scene where behind him is the Double Dragon arcade game, and it's like, what? Doesn't make any fucking sense having that there.
Yeah, so how do they convince him to just come back? What did she say?
She just takes him over there, I guess.
She said, shut up, you pussy. Raphael-san! I'm going to miss you, Raphael-san!
But we're not going back.
Oh.
Me and Raph are gonna be staying.
Oh, Raph wanted to stay too?
I guess. She's just like, no.
Kenshin must return.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you.
Yeah, but
I can't fuck a turtle.
Families must be united, or the wars will start again.
but I thought
If your cock is anything like that finger, I won't be able to take it.
I bet you their fingers are thicker, man. She'd be begging for him to fuck her with a finger every night.
Well, by proportion, I mean humans. I've never met a guy whose finger was thicker than her dick. I mean, I might have. I haven't seen everybody's dick I've met. But I'd assume.
we have to go back. It's our destiny. I mean, if we stay here, we interfere with their lives, and that would be selfish.
It would, you piece of shit.
We're in New York.
Would it?
No, I don't know how it would interfere with their lives at all. That made no sense.
I mean, he's basically he could be a father figure to the kid. So that's interfering with their life in a positive way. I'll forget you as soon as I go back.
Yo, dude.
How are they all going back at the same time? They had to come in one by one. Now they can just all hold it.
He's gonna hug him.
They should have fucked.
You got a nut to bust.
Yeah, I thought that too.
It's okay, man. Go ahead. We'll be all right.
You'll be alright. See, how do they know that they have to all go back at the same time? Because they're all coming back at the same time. Why not just bring them with them? The kid and the chick. And then they pull the old, oh, haha, gotcha, make it look like he didn't make it. And then he does.
Look at that.
Guys, we made it back to the den.
Fucking faces.
It's so bad looking.
Michelangelo?
Mikey?
That's kind of funny.
No. Why is he taking it with him? Why is he afraid all of a sudden? It's the same guy that was just there hanging out with Casey. Why is he afraid now?
I don't want to make any fucking sense.
Maybe he didn't know they were turtles.
I mean, they saw the fucking rat. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, how'd they do it again twice? I don't know.
Who knows? Thought you were gonna.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, see, that's why it is selfish, because if Michelangelo didn't return, then maybe her husband didn't return.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was April. The husband was April.
Okay.
But that's what would have happened, though. Regardless, if Michelangelo and Raph stayed, it would have left behind two of the Japanese guys, right? And so that is actually a valid point. You're underestimating the philosophy of this movie, Zach.
Maybe they could just find some other guys that are like, hey, you want to go to the future, New York City? Hold this.
This is like one of those pornos where, like, she degrades him. Like, forces him to, like, fucking liquor
Boot and shit. Oh, yeah, you should tell that story that you told us in that group chat.
What story?
About when you went to get your burrito.
Oh, I went to Chipotle today, and the girl who was making my burrito is pretty big or whatever, and she was like wrapping it up, and then when she handed it to me to leave, she hands it to me, and she was kind of being flirtatious the whole time, but she hands me the burrito, and she just kind of looks me in the eye, and she was like, I like them thick. And I just really don't know what to say to that. I just start laughing and just kind of shaking my head, and I leave. But the Chipotle worker demo is like 18 to 22, so they're a bit on the young side. But
that's fine.
It's the demo. Us 30 pluses do well in, man. Being the older guy,
I would have been like, you'll be disappointed.
Yo, dude,
my dick ain't thick though. And then she would have been like, what the fuck's with the sexual harassment? I just meant the burrito's thick. I'm fucking telling on you.
I was just agreeing with you that I like burritos thick just like you do. I wish the only thing it was missing was her like fucking biting her lower lip after it. Or something. The other day I was that fucking heavy handed. This is the worst ending. Look at this. I don't understand this.
Is it any worse than Vanilla Ice?
That wasn't an ending.
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
That wasn't the ending though, but like, why does the movie start with them doing rock and roll, like doing ZZ Top? They're dancing to ZZ Top for the camera, mind you. They're all looking at the camera.
This is a dumb movie.
Yeah, it goes by fucking fast though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty much. Oh, can you imagine if they did get rid of the pointless plot with Casey Jones and there would have been nothing to this movie.
Yeah,
like they needed it.
It is an hour 31 minutes, so it could have been more than like 5 minutes.
It's got a pace to it. I'll give it that at least. And Corey Feldman is Donatello. He got isolated. He got set aside special.
Did he? I missed it.
Yeah, it said, and Corey Feldman is Donatello.
See, that's probably one of his stipulations.
I gotta be set apart.
Yeah. Come on, I was touched as a kid.
Did Ho Sung Pak? Ho Sung Pak. Do you know who that is? The Turtle Fight Doubles?
Tupac's brother.
No, Raphael Ho Sung Pak. That is the guy I do believe that played the body capture for Liu Kang in Liu Kang and Shang Tsung in the first Mortal Kombat game.
Cool.
I mean, Ho Sung Pak could be another name. Like, it sounds like it's a pretty because it sounds like Korean, right? I mean, it sounds like it could be very generic, but that's probably him.
I thought it was Tupac's brother. Come with me.
Hail Mary, come quick,
come quick,
na 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 na.
Come on me,
come on me. Yeah. Anyway, final thoughts on the movie. Doesn't sound like you liked it too much.
It's there.
Are you ever gonna watch it again?
Probably at some point.
Yeah, I probably will at some point too. It's not a good movie though. But when I was a kid, man, I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't mind it. It was just kind of there, and I would pop it in every now and again, and I respected it as part of the trilogy. But now, as I'm older, I'm like, man, this fucking movie is not associated with the first one. I don't even feel like the second one is.
Didn't AVGN do like a review of this, and it was this and fucking like Mario 3.
Mario 3?
Yeah, I want to say they were the same episode for some reason. Maybe they just happened right away, like right next to each other.
I don't know about I think he just had this whole episode where, when he sliced the video tape in half or whatever. Yeah, those are totally different episodes. The best thing about this movie is this song, though, Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. Have you ever seen the video for this?
No.
You should watch after you're done. Google the video for it. It is the weirdest video, and the guy singing it is... He gives Boy George and David Bowie a run for their money as far as like his flamboyancy.
Cool.
And the Tarzan Boy dance he does is ridiculous. It's cheesy in 80s.
Does he got a big fat ass cock?
Oh, I don't know. He doesn't quite go to those extremes in the video. I don't want him to. But actually, on that note, let me actually read some comments if we got some here really quick.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, I don't know if I read. Did I read any Terrifier comments?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think I did. I'll read a couple here. Adrian Mendoza, thanks for commenting yet again. He commented on Terrifier. Sorry, not Terrorizer. At 16:15, he says all pizza is awesome. When I was in Chicago, I went to Giordano's, and their deep dish was pretty good. Free plug there. Crinkle fries are okay. He says LOL at this timestamp. Let's see what it is.
It is good.
I said that to my dad once.
Chill. What do you say?
He laughed, and I said, that's from Angus. He said, I know.
No, but...
That quote from Angus. We need to do that movie.
So, he also says Avengers Infinity War was so good. I guess he likes those movies. And at 103:42, he says, I love it when Aaron finally has had enough and goes off on Zach. Let's see.
Is Franco, yeah.
The week it released, Best Buy had none. Walmart had none.
Wouldn't they be trying to give it away if it was because of that? Why would they be?
You can buy it on Amazon.
They're charging more because of the scandal?
That makes no fucking sense.
I don't know, dude. It doesn't really make
I'm
sense.
not freaking out on you yet. I don't
The
know.
whole thing blew over pretty quick.
I think there was a point where I did kind of snap. I was getting a little irritated. It's not quite like the episode where you were being the troll.
Oh yeah, you talking about the Deep End episode?
Yeah, that was frustrating me.
Okay, I have a funny outtake from that episode saved on my computer. I'll put it at the end of this episode since you brought it up.
All right, sure. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. Adrian Mendoza also commented on our jury duty commentary, so we'll read that as well. He says, Pauly Shore has a nice bulge. LOL. He says, are you still friends with him? Who is he talking about? I guess I could look at the timestamp.
Pauly Shore.
No. People like to say they would, and they make jokes about it, but would you really want your own dick in your mouth? Would you? I don't know. I think he commented on that too. Hold on. Maybe that wasn't the right timestamp, but I don't know. He goes, no, I would rather have another guy's dick in my mouth. Fair enough. Fair play. And then he of course goes Linda Ellerby, like with exclamation points. And he says he loves Riverman. That's fucking awesome. He also says, I'll donate $1. Riverman was talking about fucking Patreon. Yeah. He also goes, what? You guys definitely need to get Zach to Las Vegas or anywhere you guys are thinking about going to. And if we do, and I really want to do it, we're going to definitely do some documentation of it. We'll make it worthwhile for sure. He goes, let me start writing my review of what? Let's see what he's talking about. Would you really want any dick in your mouth? I mean, would you want your fucking pre-cum to be in your fucking gums? I would. Is that what the review's for? I don't
Hopefully.
know. Baba Booey. Oh, and then he says, all the dick and ball talk at the end is hot. Well, that's what we go for.
He got Paris Hilton on us. That's hot.
Anyway, so thank you guys for commenting. And like I said, if you guys are on YouTube where we were reading those comments, feel free to like and subscribe and be on the lookout for more of our videos. Go through our channel, check out all the other stuff we do. Tons of podcasts and interviews and things of the like. Make sure you hit that stupid bell after you subscribe to make sure you're alerted when we get new videos out there to you guys. And also you have to select, I want to be alerted every time. And also, if you guys aren't familiar, we are on all the most of the podcast networks, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, things like that. We're going to put links in all these videos, please go over to places like iTunes, click on the link, leave a 5-star rating, and if you liked it, give us a little bitty review if you want, because those are really going to add up to be a lot. The more we get on reviews and ratings on things like iTunes, the more we sort of get more exposure when we rise up in the ranks and the charts and whatnot. And we want to get out there more, and we want to build a bigger family for all you guys, right? That's right. So that's all I got. Zach, do you got anything?
That's all I got playing.
We'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye, puppets.